And we say, okay, just choose 5 patterns that you like most and 5 you dislike, or 5 you agree, or 5 you disagree. You know, for instance, students start to do the grading. And then with this, we were able to, for instance, there are some patterns like this. 3 people like it. And then you end up with, you can select already some patterns most of the people like. So that means this pattern is a good pattern. What is good, what is bad? Good means most of people agree upon that, and it's most relevant. So already, you know, if you think of it, we had I can't remember how many students, but the first round, we come up with 74 individual patterns. That's too much to work with, you know. You also have to control the amount of patterns you do, because there are so many things you can write endless. But when things are too much, it's less effective. You also have to be, you know, effective. So therefore, you have to control the amount of patterns. So at the beginning, we had around 74 individual patterns. And then we work with a group of students. We say, okay, let's select what you like most. So those ones they like most are actually the ones we consider are the most relevant. We can pick them up. And we also have some patterns some people don't like. And we think, okay, probably that's for a reason. And we ask that person, why don't you like it? And some people say, because it's less defined, it's not clear, or I don't think it's right. So, and then you think, okay, if this is not a relevant one, we can just eliminate it. But if this is something newly defined, we can try to work on it and make it better. You know, this is where you kind of refine the individual patterns. And after that, we were able to select 40 good ones and rework on some things, and we result in the 40 good ones. So that's how did we develop individual patterns as a group. And remember, I also told you guys there is something called clusters of patterns, right? So you need to do some grouping. When we have 70 something, it's too much. So we ask students to put everything together, try to group. And then we ended up with something like this. So we find that some are about the policy or the understanding, some are really some objects. So for instance, you need to have a handle on the wall to help disabled people to move around, for instance, something very concrete. We have something like on the policy level too. So once you do the grouping, we find out that we actually tackled 8 different themes. And then we put all those themes on the axis. So this is more concrete and abstract, and smaller scale to larger scale. So once we put those themes on there, we can find out it's very interesting. The collective of students, we actually almost tackle all the aspects of accessible city. This is never achievable if you only work on your own as an expert. This is very effective. So after a whole afternoon, we have everything, you know. And then the next step is, these are all drafts, right, the content. And we need to develop the tool which we can use in the community engagement. So we started to develop tools. So for instance, the first one is individual pattern. So as I explained, the tool has to be handy. So we didn't put it as a postcard, but as a card like this, you know. You have a picture indicate what this pattern about, and the diagrams to show how this could be used in the design practice, you know, things like this. And I also said we had these clusters of patterns, this grouping. Once we have put it here, right? So abstract, concrete, small scale, large scale. And then we figured that we have these 8 different themes. The more to the abstract part, these are more like the concept of accessible city. So how do you really understand this? What are the policy could help you to achieve that? So it's more top-down, yeah, planning. And then some of them, these could be something like more systematic on the middle scale. It could be half policy, half design principles, right? And then you also have something like very small scale, like as I said, a handle, whatever. So we have kind of 8 different themes. In the end, we have this this set of tools that we can use. So after that, we were thinking, okay, so now we have developed accessible city design tools. So which means if you want to achieve accessible city, these are the tools that you can use. So let's try out how this could be used in this community. So what we did was we chose a neighborhood in Shenzhen, and it looks like this. So we made some tools for the community engagement. So once you have this set of patterns, still is a foundation. But if you really want to involve communities, ask them to really provide their opinions, to talk with you, you also have to think strategically what could be the tools that you can help them to understand. Because those are laymen, those are not professional people, right? You have to develop that. So what we did was we prepared two maps. So one map, so you can see this is a neighborhood. So we prepared a larger map, walking distance, 10 minutes walking distance, and these are the 15 minutes walking distance. So a map, and this is another map, which is only about the neighborhood. It's very participated, but we had, I think, 6 different groups, and each group has around 7 people.